Riders ready, watch the gate.
Hey, Hyena. Sorry. Hey, welcome back to the Dirty Knobs podcast. I'm your host, Hollywood Mike Miranda. My co-hosts are, as always, JV James Vicente and EC Eric Carter. On this episode, we're going to talk to our good friend, Mr. Steve Giberson. Most people know him as Gibey. Man, he's got some great stories. We've got some stuff to tell on each other. And hey, listen, we'll have some outtakes at the end. Lots of cool pictures. Make sure you check out the commercials and stay tuned. More Dirty Fest info to come. Hey, enjoy the show. Yeah, JV.
What else did I want to tell
Wait,
you?
wait, it's official podcast time. 6:01.
He's been pretty early. He's been beating me, so I'm gonna say he's.
If
Well,
we
I haven't
we
talked to
use
him, so I haven't talked to
hey,
him.
yeah, it's 6 minutes is typically our over under. It's 6:02. What are you taking?
I'm going with the under.
Oh, dude.
He's been good. He's been good lately,
All right.
unless he forgot.
I texted him. We'll see.
Oh,
I'll take the over.
all right. Well, you text
Not that
him.
listen, it's not that I don't have faith in our boy. Does that look like
There could be a taco. There could be tacos or pizza sitting on the
Yeah.
table. He's got to get
correct. So we gotta wait for the ding in the background for when they get
to.
ready to get the pizza out or the tacos. Who knows?
That's right. That's right. They're gonna be there.
I was supposed to make dinner tonight, and I go, oh, I forgot I'm recording. I can't make dinner. Why don't we go out to my favorite hot hamburger place?
Oh, even better.
Yeah, that's how
I'm a
that's how I
fan of that.
did that. That's how I did that, JV.
Wait. Let's just back up for a minute because there's an important occasion that's going to be happening really soon for you. Uh, really, it's David's wedding is coming up.
That's exactly right.
Your
That's
son,
exactly right.
which I mean, that's exciting, dude.
Dude, it's so exciting.
That's
So exciting.
exciting. I mean,
The,
we had we had our kids pretty close,
yeah,
our
yeah.
together. I mean, the first ones for me were boy and girl, right? So, girl and then boy, and then yeah. I mean, our kids are pretty close in age. So it's just it's. I try and think about that, and I'm like, wow, David's getting married. I think Justin will get married next, is my guess for me.
You
Uh,
think so?
Yeah, I think so. He's been dating this girl since college, so and she's really great. So I think I think that's gonna happen in the future. I don't think Emily has a boyfriend right now, so that's probably not in the near future. Although you never know. Yeah, but uh, but that's exciting, dude. I'm excited. I am super excited for that wedding. Yeah, I'm going. I didn't get invited, but I'm fucking going.
You got invited.
No, I got invited.
Yeah, I was gonna say, come on.
Making our systems much. I mean, we are truly antiquated in the systems that we are really, and we from the beginning have always been kind of like the duct tape, rubber band type of organization that we have, right? I mean,
Yeah,
everything is. Hey, we love that, but how can we do it in a much less expensive way?
yeah. Hey, that's fantastic. Let's do this huge, gigantic thing. But wait, how can we do it for free? Can we find that in the trash somewhere and make it work?
It's so crazy. I mean, really, people don't know the even from our registration to our the moto sheets, right? Which look great. I mean, we did. I have to say, together we worked on that, and it looks great, right? But
Yeah.
the behind the scenes of it, I mean, look,
But hey, listen, I'll say
I,
this. The greatest thing about our moto sheets, in my opinion, is the font size.
oh
Because we
yeah,
made
you
it
need,
bigger so
well,
we can see it.
we need to be able to see. Yeah, we're old now, so we have to. It's funny how you look at people at the motor sheets and they got to get really close. Close.
Hey, buddy, you don't have to smell those sheets. You don't have to sniff the sheets. You can just rate them. But
You got to get
you
really
can't have
close.
anything in between. We should put reader glasses on a string and staple it to the moto
Put
boards.
a big magnifying glass, like
No, I know us. We'll end up catching on fire. Hey, 609.
Yo,
oh, look at that.
609.
yo.
609. Yeah.
Where's the? There it
Let's see,
is.
yeah. Look,
I thought I thought
listen, I love that. 4 seasons now. We're in our 4th season. I can hear him say, "Where's that button? How do I turn this on? Where's
how
it?"
do I do it? There's a camera here somewhere.
Hey, like your dad used to say, "Caete."
Hey, look at it's now
Wow, what do you got
it's
in the
coming in
sushi
hot.
bar?
dude, it's sushi
And
room
storage.
and self-storage.
Yeah, it's sushi and storage.
And I see
New
Ethan took a
business.
couple of the guitars with him when he left.
Oh, did I freeze? We froze up. There
No,
it is.
you're good. We
We're
got
good.
you. We
Yeah,
got you,
sushi,
man.
Sushi and storage.
Oh
Yeah.
I
yeah.
like it. I like
No.
that. It's getting higher and higher over there.
Yeah, it was not good.
Oh,
Yeah, boom. So, but the good thing is, luckily, we do this podcast and we do Dirty Fest because it's the only thing that I do all year, and all the money I make from that I don't have to work. So,
Well, that's funny because with all the money I make from the podcast and from Dirty Fest, I just leave the AC the way it is and I just get another house.
that's right. That's right. Exactly. So,
What do you do with your millions, JV, from the podcast?
oh God! I wish there was money from the podcast or Dirty Fest.
Yeah. No, I use the Dirty Fest money to buy a headset for my old BMX bike.
Yeah,
that's right.
we
Well,
can't even
not the whole
we
thing.
can't
I
even
get-
buy equipment to do a live stream.
that was I used mine to buy a tank of gas to get home from Dirty Fest.
Yeah.
I bought part of a headset.
Yeah. Anyways,
Wow.
hey, what shirts do you guys got on?
I knew he was going to ask.
I know. I see yours already.
like it.
I like yours. I see yours.
See?
Oh yeah, no.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I got
yeah.
the Brian Gaff visor riser, the original.
Yeah, I'm rolling
saw-
pro neck.
I saw a post that he posted a couple of days ago. It had a picture of his dad, Lenny.
Yes, I saw
it.
that. I
So
saw
I was
that.
like, you know what, man? I'm gonna wear this for Brian and Lenny and the Gas family. They were cool.
I love it.
They were fixtures at the Orange Y. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
there you go. That's for the Gasses.
Bro, that visor riser, I mean, a pretty good invention.
That was
Yeah.
a great invention.
A pretty good invention.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
It's-
speaking of pretty good inventions, hold on to that thought because we're going to return to it.
All right.
But JV,
Yeah.
your T-shirt is pretty special.
Mine
Yeah,
is.
Yeah.
What is it? Let's see it.
Look at him,
Talk, JV.
dude.
Oh.
Talk, JV. Talk so we can see it.
This is a pro neck jersey, but sorry, t-shirt. But what's interesting about it is it's 4 years old because it actually has Frogtown, the Texas Classic, and Dirty Fest on it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that?
Where do you think I got it?
Dude, our boy Will Skirdo. Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Fantastic.
Come
First
on,
of all,
man.
it's one of my favorite shirts. You know why? Because it's like when he first gave it to me, it was like way too big, and I'm growing right into it. I'm growing right into it.
Is that what you're
Now,
doing?
now it fits me pretty good.
Growing right into it.
Dude, I got
I'm
my
growing
Rob,
right into it,
You're
I
getting
got my
so big,
Rob Lane
JV.
shirt. My
brother.
Rob Lane shirt. I'm heading to Texas for this weekend. Rob Lane is actually having his own show, not a race, but just a show. And so I'm heading there. And Will Skirdo is already there.
Skirto, of course, he's gonna
Yeah,
be there.
so come on, man.
Come
I'm gonna see
on.
those. I'm gonna see those guys. Cannot wait to hang out with those guys.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Skirto is a funny guy, man.
Oh man,
He
he's
is a fun.
hilarious.
Talk about we said a person that loves life. That guy's just like, he's funny all the time. He's funny all the time. He's messing with you all the time.
Always.
He goes, "What size are you?" I said, "A large." He goes, "Oh no, that ain't right.
You
You're
ain't
not a
no
large.
large.
Yeah, not synthetic, whatever, whatever." He goes, "Not that synthetic shirt you got going on."
Oh man.
He is so good.
Yeah, he's
Man,
really
yeah, you're
good.
right, JV. He has a zest for life,
He
man.
does. He does. He just wants to have. He just have a good time.
Yeah.
Just has a good time.
Speaking of good time, hey, JV, I saw you. Are you drinking water?
No,
I
no,
noticed you
I'm
were
not
sipping,
drinking
but
water.
it looked like water, kinda.
Well, I mean, yeah, it looks like water, but it isn't. It's drinking, finishing a little tequila, a little
Oh, there you
tequila,
go.
It was either
little time.
tequila or acetone. I wasn't sure what it was.
JV's running a clean burn today. He's running a
Yeah,
clean burn.
I got to go to the doctor tomorrow, actually. So,
See? Exactly.
And I see you. I saw what you were rocking there, young man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
see that.
Dude.
You're rocking.
We
Yep.
saw that.
Modelo Especial.
I got
Yeah.
one
You're-
in the chamber there, and I got two
Oh,
right
yeah.
here.
Oh, there you
Well,
go.
So
You're drinking the Mike Miranda. I'm
I'm
drinking the Tommy
Oh,
Bracken.
Negro
I think that's the Tommy
Modelo.
Bracken's version.
Negro Modelo. I
Yes,
actually
sir.
like Negro Modelo.
It is good, actually.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
I do. I like it as well. It's choice number 3.
Mm.
Choice number 3.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always Especial or Tecate.
The Katie's.
Oh,
When I drink Tecate, or I drink Tecates, as my friends call it.
the Katie's.
The Tecates. I drink the Tecates, and if not the Tecates, then I'm going these.
Hollywood. You rapid fire those Tacati's, bro.
I still do, man. Those things are.
Dude, I don't know anyone that drinks as fast as you do on the
Yeah.
I
beer
don't like warm
on the
beer.
beer
so
circuit.
Yeah.
They
Don't like
they
warm
said
beer.
I don't like warm beer. I barely get it opened.
I know. It's great. It's crazy. I really don't know anyone that drinks a beer faster than you do.
How about when you go to the Mexican restaurant with Hollywood, and they go around and take the drink order, and he always goes first, so it looks like that. So he's ordering
Yeah.
at the table, and he's like, yeah, two
Two.
Tecates
Yeah.
and a shot of tequila.
It's crazy. It's
And the
yeah.
guy
And
starts
there's
to
3
walk
people
away
at the
every
table, and
time,
then
he
she
goes,
starts to walk away, and you have to go,
That's
no,
me.
no, no, no. That's just me. Hold on. They want something too. Oh man,
and he goes like this. Gish, gish, gish. Okay,
It's
now I'll give you
amazing.
my drink order.
Yeah, now you can say, yeah, gotta prime the pump, baby. Gotta prime the pump.
That's pro form right
That is
there.
pro form.
Yeah, that's pro form.
Oh.
I don't know how you do that,
I
but
don't know who invented
good for you.
that system, but I love it.
the quick
You
quick
perfected
drinking.
it.
Yeah, you have perfected it.
Oh man.
Oh man. Well, speaking of inventions, dude, our guest today is an inventor. I can't wait to ask him about it.
EC, do you know who it is?
I do know who this one is.
Oh yeah,
Oh, you do?
he saw the
Okay.
email. He's
I
on the
did, I
email
saw
and the
the email.
text.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And I'm excited, but I didn't know he was an inventor, so now I'm even more excited.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think Tommy Bracken's and this guy probably have more dirt on me
Ooh.
than anyone
Yeah.
from 2 different chapters of my life. But that's not what we're here for, so I'm not going to ask him about it.
Oh, that's okay. We will.
Let's say first, I thought you had something very interesting, Mike, that you had told me. You said, it's going to be kind of interesting because hey Steve, how you doing?
What's up, gang?
So
Look at that.
so he said, hey, it's going to be kind of interesting because our guest Steve we both EC and I really know him well.
Yeah.
But I know him from as far back as the racing thing, and and EC, you know him from the magazine, kind of like through the magazine days, right?
Yeah.
So it's a two different eras, which will be really cool to when we start to talk to Steve. But
But hey,
Steve,
who's-
welcome.
But
Hey.
it's three eras or
Yeah.
multiple eras because we got EC on BMX
On
and mountain bike
and
Yeah.
mountain bikes,
That's
exactly,
right.
exactly.
But JV, who's Steve?
All right. let me.
I don't know who Steve is.
Tell him,
Yeah.
JV.
I know who Guyby is.
Steve
Hello,
Giberson.
JV.
Guyby.
Welcome, Steve Giberson, also known as Guyby, to most old school BMXers. Let's see what I got here, Steve. If I got it wrong, just call it out. But I got a few bullets here. Riverside local. You actually did, and Mike has mentioned it a couple of times. You actually did the high school BMX thing where no?
Motocross.
Oh,
Motocross.
motocross thing. Okay.
Yeah,
You were,
my parents wouldn't let me own a motorcycle, but they would let me race motorcycles. I don't get the logic, but hey, whatever.
I get. Hey, listen, I get the logic.
Yeah.
I get the logic. Yeah.
It's a-
There's a cash incentive for not owning one.
All right, I got here, Steve, mid 70s BMXer, early 80s,
Yep.
right? Okay. Worked at Malcolm Smith Racing Products in high school. Uh, you were featured in bicycle motocross action in the 70s. Uh, invented the first aluminum seat post clamp.
Some of the aluminum stems back then weren't so great, so I just chopped it up and filed it down and
I
made the
mean,
clamp. Yep.
that's
Repurposed.
I
yeah,
didn't.
that's I mean,
Hollywood said
that's
he said before we came on. He goes, "He's an inventor," and I'm like, "What? I didn't know he was
aluminum seat post clamp. I mean,
Go. I love it.
we all
Hey,
had that shit.
it was all stamped steel before that. So
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Won the trophy dash at ABA National in Tacoma. And I think I heard through Big Bike, I listened to Big Bike BMX on this one. You actually got the Mongoose contingency, or you thought you deserved the Mongoose contingency from that race.
I did get a check from them.
You
So,
did. Okay.
yep.
All right. Rode for Rick's Bicycle City, Bicycle Source, and Factory SE.
Yep.
Where you actually broke your wrist pretty badly.
Yeah.
When you were with
Shortly
them.
after I got the ride with SC. So,
Yeah, which
hey,
I'm
that's
sorry.
got one.
I don't mean to laugh, but there's a story that's going to come
Oh, there's
through
a
the
big story.
podcast.
I've got to add one more thing to the inventor side.
Yeah.
Flex fighters.
Flex
So,
fighter?
Explain
Yeah.
it.
Well,
Which-
You
some of
guys-
the tough neck and pro neck back in the day before they were they were fairly stout.
Yep.
But when I was at BMXA, I tested a Cook Brothers stem, and the Uniclamp, that big monster thing. It was way overbuilt, but I figured, man, if you could shim underneath the stem, and
Oh.
you'd put the stem in with the spacers under there, tap it down, tighten it up, and it was way stiffer than the original product.
Wow.
Look at that. Look at that.
Sano products.
Yeah.
Sano products.
I've seen the pictures or the stickers of Sano products. I've seen those. I
Yeah.
actually might have one of those stickers, honestly.
Well, you probably do, EC, in your
You
garage.
It's
Cold
way
that.
deep in your sticker collection then.
For
Right.
sure, he's got that. All right, last few here. Mike says lived with Rod Beckering for a little bit.
Actually, it
his
was Rod's grandma.
grandma.
Oh shit!
Rented out rooms in her house. Yeah.
Okay,
and not the
all right.
only guy that we know that lived there.
Yeah. Todd Huffman was actually a
Oh,
roommate.
Huff did too. Oh, Huff
Yep.
actually mentioned that. I do remember
Yeah.
that. I do remember that. Okay.
Yeah. We
walk
on that
it.
episode we talked about when Rod Beckering's dad backed into your car
Oh
or
yeah.
into your truck.
Oh yeah, I heard it. And that story was 100% true. Just shake my head and go, "Oh man, I know what just happened out there." So
Let's see. Last two I have here. Started taking pictures at local races. Eventually, started taking pictures for bicycle motocross action, and then you connected with Bob Osborne with Oz to work for the magazine in the darkroom, and eventually became the editor.
Yep.
Of Bicycle Motocross Magazine, BMXA.
Yep.
Later.
Editor of Bicycle Motocross Action magazine.
I mean,
yeah,
that's
that was an amazing gig that I never expected to happen. So
Dude, that's like taking over the Bible from Moses.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we all know how much we loved the magazine back in the day. So to be able to go to work there and have a hand in shaping some of that stuff and planning and making it happen. That was pretty cool.
Well, can I start with this question? Because I've never known. I want to know, how did that transition start? I mean, how did Oz start looking at your pictures? Start with that. How did that happen?
It actually, probably that same weekend that you were at Grass Valley, and you're getting a lot of attention out in the parking lot for your jumping skills, and I think you were having more fun out there jumping than you were racing. So I think that same weekend was, I ran into Oz. I had known him for a while because, things like that seat post clamp, I'd shown him things I was making at the races, and I was getting faster and, getting a little more attention. But actually at that race, he asked me about someone else that he was thinking of hiring for this darkroom position over at BMXA. I was like, I don't know that guy, but man, that sounds like a cool gig. So
Wow.
I think I ended up poaching his job.
Right.
Hey, we should back up, and be maybe a little bit more like everybody else. Start from the beginning, right? Guyby, I know you from way back when,
Yeah.
but I don't know when you started racing.
Well,
I know when
was explaining it.
I started racing, you were
Yeah.
already racing.
Yeah. My mom was an RN in an emergency room. She made the mistake of sending my brother and I up to her sister's place in Oregon, which is where I live now. And her husband took us to a race in Washougal, Washington. So, I'd always been interested in the moto side of things. Would have loved to have a motorcycle, thought I was going to be the next hot thing. But my mom, being an RN in an emergency room, was having no part of that. It wasn't the financial side of it. It was the, you're going to break every bone in your body type thing. And over the years, I did prove her right a little bit, but
Yeah.
but BMX was a substitute for the moto stuff. And the first race I ever did, I got grounded for 3 weeks because
Why? Why'd you get grounded?
I asked my mom if I could go.
And she said no.
And then I talked my dad into taking me.
Smart.
I got both of us in trouble. Come home. Hey, look, I got a trophy. Oh, oops. Yeah, that race that I wasn't supposed to go to. So
He's
yeah,
not the first husband to get grounded too, I'm sure.
yeah. But the first race I ever did was a vacant lot track that Kevin McNeil was running in Riverside.
Tyler and Sinclair.
It could have been for sure.
Yeah, that was the first track.
Sort of a figure eight complete with mud hole.
Yes.
Type thing.
That was,
rubber band start.
Yeah, that was the first track. That was the very first track in Riverside. Tyler and Sinclair.
And that was on a Stingray with probably 5.5 or 6 inch cranks, and I think I had a fender on the back of the bike and a banana seat. The whole, hey, it was state of the art for the moment back then. So there was a 4H track in Riverside, or up by it was near Riverside Raceway. We'd go up and do that one. Living in Riverside, I'd go through the bus station almost every day on the way to or from school, and that's where I found the first issue of BMX Action. It was Bicycle Motocross Action when it first started. So
right.
To see that on the newsstand, completely blown away. And it was funny because I was kind of the nerd in high school because I was a BMX guy, and all the other guys it's the motocross team, and but then I ended up spending 20 plus years shooting moto stuff. So Supercross and motocross nationals.
Yeah, JV, back then, our junior high had BMX teams, but our high schools all of our local high schools had motocross teams.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
wild, dude.
And
that's crazy.
And all the fast, because we lived near Corona Raceway and Riverside Raceway. And we had there were these, you had guys at your high school that were lettered in motocross.
That's wild.
And
That
and
is.
what was really crazy was that these guys, most of the fast guys, now I could be wrong, Steve, you're going to correct me. Most of the fast guys that I knew from that went to the high school I went to that were, years 2 or 3 grades above me, they all worked at Malcolm Smith. All the fast guys in Riverside worked at Malcolm Smith.
There were two sides to it. There was the retail store, and then up in the hills it was Malcolm Smith Racing Products, and that's where I worked at after high school. But yeah, the motocross team, it was funny because we had jackets made with North High Motocross. But yeah, technically, yeah, I guess we were lettered in motocross, but nobody would have worn that jacket. I can tell you that. So it was funny because we actually had motocross PE. It was like sixth period, the same time the football team's out there, and our high school was shaved head. It was military drills out there, and this
Whoa.
is the motocross team was all the guys. Their boxers are hanging out from underneath the gym shorts, long hair. It was a different crowd. Oh yeah,
Oh
I see what's
man.
walking in here.
Dang.
Yeah, that was pretty much the era that I was there.
Can you believe it, Steve?
Yeah, that was pretty much the era that when I was there. So
What is
that's awesome.
that? What
This
is
is
that?
It's
this
a
is
Malcolm
a
Smith jacket.
this is
Yeah.
a Malcolm Smith
Oh,
jacket. This is what all the guys in high school wore. If you were on the motocross team or you worked about, this was it.
wow.
And dude, and all of us, all the BMX guys that loved motocross,
Yeah.
we all went and bought this jacket. This was the jacket. You wore this in high school, like this was your Letterman's jacket. And this made this, I don't know if it got you any girls, but it got you in with a cool crowd, with the good guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brother, that
that
jacket
was pretty
it
cool.
looks brand new.
Oh, it is like brand new. I knew that all of us that raced for Riverside Schwinn, RRS, we all got one. We all went and bought one. And so when we went to the races, we all looked like we were on the factory. We were on the motocross team, but we were all BMXers. Yeah. I forgot, Steve, until you said that. I forgot I had that in the closet.
Oh yeah.
So when I met Steve the first time, I shouldn't say met. When I watched Steve the first time, because I would watch, he was an older rider that rode super smooth. And even from the very beginning, Steve didn't make many mistakes, man. That was his thing. He rode super smooth and didn't make mistakes. And so I was watching him all the time. But it was kind of quirky. He had a mongoose, which I loved, but he had a drum brake, which nobody else had. So it was cool. And the other thing that made Steve different, and I guess it was because he worked at Malcolm Smith. You ready for this?
Oh yeah.
Steve always raced in motocross pants. And I was like, oh man, this guy is so moto. He is so moto. And back then we all loved Roger DeCoster and the like. So I was like, oh man, he is so cool. And he had all the moto stuff on. It was all everything was trick. And then he would come in the pits. Oh, first of all, he drove this. What was that pervert van you had, man? Child molester van he drove.
Oh my gosh.
What was it?
I started out with a Buick and traded it for this old Ford Econoline van.
It was, but the old one.
Yeah, and the guy that owned it before me had taken out the original inline, I think it was an inline 6, dropped a V8 in it, a little 289, but then he built a wooden box around the engine. So this thing's not ventilating, it's overheating all the time. I'd have to pull. There was once in Riverside, it's overheating on the freeway. I pulled off. I happened to just luckily pull in front of some house where a lady had her sprinkler going in the front yard, and by then it's so overheated it's catching the wooden box on fire around the engine. I lift the lid and throw the hose in there, and managed to get it put out. So, and I built a metal one for after that. Aluminum sheeting around the outside, and unfortunately I sold it to Rick Gagnon, so I'd apologize to Rick. So
who took that picture, by the way?
Oh yeah,
that was a Rick picture.
Yeah, Rick's Bicycle City. That was a cool shop.
Great
Little
shop
shop in
around
Fontana.
us.
Yeah, and they had all the cool BMX stuff back in the day, which was, not a lot of shops were doing it at that point. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was the BMX shop around in the Inland Empire until
Yeah.
Riverside Schwinn came along. But until then, that
Huh.
was where you went to get parts.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so Steve rolls up in this pervert van, and the next thing he does is he gets out this super trick, big metal loop with two bars on it. It looks like a dip bar now, but it was a bike rack. It was a bike stand.
Huh.
You would roll your bike up and put the handlebars on it, and it held your bike upright.
Yeah, it was kind of a knockoff of the Mark Charles bike stands for moto. I was a slave to moto fashion. Anything to do with moto, I was into it. So yeah, that was just a metal shop creation from high school.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was everything was so moto. It looked so
Yeah.
cool. So you had to, you paid attention to it. It was great.
But
And then
that's what the sport was back then.
yeah, it really was bicycle
Yeah.
motocross.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the Steve Giberson I got to know and love long before he became famous, in my opinion. Long before he became famous, I got to know Steve, and there's another special message I want to tell later on, another story I want to tell later on. But Steve, it was great to have, to get to see you go from that to now you went from riding a mongoose. Tell the story about how that happened and what happened in Tacoma.
Riding for Rick's Bicycle City, or Rick's Bicycle City. Rick set me up with that bike. I rode for them for a bit longer, and then the RRS guys started helping me out a little bit. It was a little more convenient, and they're right in Riverside. Tacoma, Craig Kundig wanted to get his riders up to Tacoma, and this is a race that I had been really training for a bit, and kind of had my sights set on. But he needed to get his riders up there. I wanted to go anyway. I was going anyway, and so I needed some tires on the truck. He ended up buying tires for me and helping out on the gas, and I hauled his guys up there. Blew a head gasket on the truck on the way home. Had to stop every 10 miles on the way back and fill it with water. But yeah, it was a really super muddy weekend up there. Mud's the great equalizer. I don't think I had some of the power that a lot of the guys had, that I was racing against, but I won the 14 over open. And then I think I started out fourth in the trophy dash.
Hold on. You won the 14 and over open, which was, I mean, pros were racing in it. It was everybody
Yeah,
was in it.
yeah.
You won the don't make it sound like I won the open class. No, you won with all the big names in there. Stu Thompson, Greg Hill, everybody was in that. So he won that. And which automatically qualifies you for the trophy dash, right?
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Now go on.
I mean, the people you beat in the open alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To get into the trophy dash.
Yeah. It was just, and here's a really funny one. Do you remember the front tire, Mike?
Yes. Pirelli.
I had a Pirelli.
I remember it. I remember all the details of your bike.
Wow.
I think it was a moped motocross tire.
Oh.
20-inch.
Mr. Moto.
And yeah. And again, quirky stuff that nobody else is using or has seen or whatever. Normally I would have run like a Carlisle Aggressor, but somehow I came across this tire and it worked, and worked like magic on that day. So just winning the trophy dash, or winning the 14 over open, I probably could have flown home under my own power at that point. And then in the trophy dash, this was an era when privateers didn't make the trophy dash at all. And I started out in fourth. I think I don't remember the riders exactly. It might have been Medlin, Ruminer, and Hill that I passed in the main.
Gosh.
Ended up crossing the line, and I just couldn't believe it. It was fairly funny because, a while back I'd been asking Skyway guys, hey, any chance of getting some, sponsorship from you guys on wheels? And they're like, they looked at my number. I was 134X. No, we're looking for people that are, a little lower numbers than that.
At least top 100.
Yeah. And then after the race, he comes up to me, would you like to run our wheels? And then never heard from him again. So it was kind of funny.
Wow.
Man.
Well,
And
so
then
let me tell this.
Corona's my next, or the next race after that.
Hold on.
So-
I'm going to tell my Tacoma story.
Okay.
So the guys I didn't go to Tacoma. I wasn't good enough to make the trip. And so my buddy comes back, Keith Peel. Was Keith Peel with? Yeah, Keith Peel comes back and he goes, who was also very moto. He goes, dude, you know who won? You know who won Tacoma? And I go, no. And he goes, guess. And so I go, Stu Thompson, no. Greg Hill, no.
You
He
can
goes,
be there a while.
He just let
Yeah.
me go. He let me go all the way down the list. And I go, I ran out of names. He goes, Steve Giberson. And dude, I lost my mind. I could not believe my guy, my friend won that. I mean, to win the trophy dash, he had an ABA national back in the day when knowing that well, how did he get in the trophy dash? He won the open. I was like, no way. He
Yeah.
goes, yeah, it was fantastic.
Trophy Dash was a
Big deal.
such a big thing.
Yeah.
Well, the big thing was you said, well, that's what it was. Is who won Tacoma?
Yeah.
You didn't say who won expert, who won pro. You said who won Tacoma. And that was the person that won the trophy dash.
That's right.
And
Oh.
man, dude, that was just amazing. Just amazing.
One
I'm
of
getting
those-
goosebumps thinking about it, man.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, one of those magic moments for sure. And then later Oz had a photo in there, at Tacoma, Giberson was king of the privateers, and it was like, okay, that's pretty cool. The next national is Corona, and so I see the Mongoose team manager out there, and like, hey, do you still have that contingency for winning a trophy dash? And Jeff Cosmala is sitting there, and Cos goes, "What did you win?" Well, I won this race up in Washington, and yeah, so they did end up sending me a check for it, which was pretty amazing.
that is amazing, man.
Yeah, it is.
That is amazing.
That is.
Especially, I went back and looked at the photos a while back, and oops, there was no Mongoose stickers on the frame anymore, when I did it.
Probably had Bell Ray or some moto sticker on it somewhere.
Something ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, the Torker that I had, for a while it had an SE head tube sticker on it, then it had a Power Light head tube sticker, and so I I made it whatever I wanted it to be that day.
Did you choose the Mongoose to ride, or was that
Rick
that
surprised me with it,
Oh,
and his dad was like, "Are you sure you want to?" His dad was Dick, and then Rick was the younger guy who was also very into rock and roll and photography, and so like that photo that Mike was holding up, that was the Rick Gagnon photo.
it's awesome.
Yeah,
His dad, Dick, was, I mean, I got to be honest, he was very cool to us too, Steve.
yeah.
He'd always, hey, remember he had that deep voice, that scratchy voice. Hey, man, how you guys doing? You guys doing right? Yeah, he was super cool.
And they also ran a local track out there in Fontana, which was, it was cool that they had the track, but man, that thing, you want moto, it was like, Fontana is all what used to be the mountains overhead that is washed down into the valley.
Yeah.
So it's like river rock and
it's river rock and
sandy and-
decomposed
Yeah.
granite.
it wasn't even decomposed granite. It had decomposed the sand.
Yeah, they built the track by putting those big teeth in a big tractor and just dragging it. That's how they made it. No one bothered, no one bothered packing it. You just ran it.
Oh,
Yeah, nobody watered it. You didn't rake or sweep it. You just, okay, ready, go.
that was so, I can only imagine how that was in the middle of summer.
Racing was so fun back then. It was so great. I know we were supposed to take it serious, but if you're racing, let me just say again, if you're racing in motorcycle pants, how serious is it?
That's Fontana for sure.
Yeah, that's Fontana right there.
And I think on that pair of pants, I think I actually had them extend it 2 inches from the normal motorcycle pants. So I thought it was going to be long enough. And
you have Bauer brand running shoes. That's what you're riding in.
They probably sold those at Malcolm's.
They sold them at my Electra helmet. You were so moto. It was great.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's when I met Steve was back in those days. And I don't know, Steve, I don't know why you were nice to me. I was my best friend and his name was Lenny Carter. We called him, his nickname was Chicken Man. I did not have a nickname, by the way. I did not have a nickname at this time. But my friend Chicken Man and we went everywhere together. And when we found out that Steve could drive, Steve was driving, he had a van. Man, we were mooching rides with him to go to anywhere we could. And sometimes Steve would, I would have to say, you'd go out of your way. You'd meet us at the shop and let us ride with you at the shop. And, this will go further on into the story, but the fact that I got to go to other races to experience other tracks and was all because of Steve.
you and we must have gone to Azusa about 1,000,000 times. And then we'd race Rich Long home on the freeway. Rich was running
Rich Long, the owner of GT,
Yeah.
one of the two owners of GT bicycles, who also owned at the time Anaheim Bike Shop, lived in Riverside, but he was also the track operator at Azusa, the old Azusa Eagles Lodge. And like Steve said, he goes, we would race, we would ride practice until they turned the lights off afterwards. And then it was a drag race all the way home back to Riverside.
Yeah, we'd be passing back and forth on the freeway. It was pretty funny.
Hey, God rest his soul. I love the guy, but he would also, Steve, tell the truth now, he would be down in beers and throwing the empties out of the window at us. Yeah, that was the heyday, man. That was back in the 70s, man, when guys did it. Just pounding Budweisers and throwing the empties out of the window.
Well, I remember going to an NBA Grands, took you to that race. I didn't make the main. You made 14 novice main events, I think.
Exactly right.
And the wind's blowing like 40 miles an hour. It's just a miserable night out there. I mean, it's like crazy dust and everything else. I'm just sitting in my truck going, oh, why did I take this kid to the race?
Dude.
About when I think it might have been that weekend at Grass Valley where you're jumping out in the parking lot and I'm talking to Oz about getting a job. And we're driving home. I'm wiped out. I have to be at Malcolm's the next morning to go to work. And I'm like hallucinating. I'm so tired. Hey, Mike, you're driving. Mike doesn't have a license.
Mike's 14.
I don't know how much
Mike's 14.
Yeah.
And me, you guys know me. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I got it. I can do it. Yeah, I can drive. Hey, what's this third pedal over here for? Why does it have two brake pedals? So that was I drove home. Which brings me
I made it back to work. So.
Yeah, which brings me to another great story I love telling about our two-man driving crew. You tell it, Steve. You know what I'm talking about.
Which part?
the one guy in a leg cast, one guy in an arm cast.
Oh, yeah. Well, we need to back it up a little bit. This racing at Corona Raceway, I just gotten a ride from SE, and so I'm feeling pretty good at that point. Riding down or getting down Corona, coming into the last corner, Kevin McNeil's behind me. He goes around me on the outside, cuts over to set up for the next turn or the second to last turn, clips my front wheel. Well, I go shooting off the side to the inside, hit this bank, flying backwards, and land on top of my arm, break my wrist. That's where I learned about karma, because Mike had broken his wrist about 3 weeks before that. So he gets
when you're among guys in Riverside, you know how it is, dude. There is no mercy.
Yeah, I had given him 3 solid weeks of crap. Hey, Mike, you going to this race coming up? Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
You're busted. You can't go. So just relentless for like 3 weeks. So back at Corona, they load me up in a van. my arm,
In an
well,
ambulance.
you can still see the crooked
Yeah.
because doctor didn't do such a great job.
They load him in an ambulance.
No, it was
The van,
somebody's van.
all
But
I know is
you
they were taking him to the hospital. And I go, hold on, hold on, hold on. And I
yeah,
ran and I
it
got in and
stops.
they stopped. I get in and shut the door behind me. I said, oh, I don't want to miss this ride.
Oh yeah, and he turns around and goes, "Ah." Just laughing at me like nonstop all the way to the hospital. And
Yeah. Hey, man,
I want to kill him, and I know I deserve every single bit of it. So
as we're leaving Corona Raceway, it was probably, no, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile from the track to the actual exit when you're driving on dirt and bumps. And every
bumps,
time
yeah,
the guy would hit a bump, Steve would go, ooh, and I would go, ah.
yeah. Well, that was the first bone that I'd ever broken, so it was not a great experience. And then I think they called in the doctor on a called him in from his golf game or something, and
Oh, I think it was
the
happy. I
orthopedic
think it
guy.
was
So
happy hour.
yeah. Well, when I took
I
the
think it was
cast off,
happy hour at JC's in Home Gardens where he was.
yeah, this thing looked like it had a goose egg in the middle of it. So, but so for what the next 3 weeks after that, if we go to an arcade, Mike's playing left flipper, I'm playing right flipper on pinball.
Ah.
Yeah, and then it's a left arm, so I'm having to steer with this hand. It's a manual transmission Chevy Love, and so Mike's shifting, I'm steering and doing the pedals, and yeah, it was pretty comical.
So there's another story I want to ask you about, if you remember. We went to again, Steve drove everywhere because he was on SE. He drove us to the very first World Cup.
Oh yeah, we could do a whole podcast on that trip alone.
Just on that trip alone
Yeah,
could be a podcast.
yeah. But we get to Albuquerque. That was probably the first big adventure of the trip. I'm in the fast lane driving, so it's Mike, myself, and Rob Lynch, and so we're just rotating drivers. And Mike and I at that point are both racing B Pro, and honestly, I felt like, man, I had won a national just before that. Mike was doing really well, and I'm like, yeah, in B Pro, come on, you were killing it in B Pro. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, man, maybe one of us could be the win, go home and take some big money back home. But we get into Albuquerque. I'm driving in the fast lane. I see this Mustang just ripping lanes behind me. And I'm like, man, this guy's, he dives for a hole in the car in front of us and realizes he's not going to make it. So he just locks up the brakes, and we're going down the freeway 70 miles an hour, and he's sliding sideways next to me and lets off the brakes. The thing hits the center divider so hard the trunk pops
Wow.
open. I look in the back, in the car there'd be somebody riding shotgun, and then somebody sleeping in the back. Well, Mike was in the back,
In the
and I
bed
look
of
in
the
the
truck.
rearview mirror to see where this Mustang went, and all I see are Mike's eyes about this big.
All I know is I know we're hauling ass down the freeway in the fast lane, and I'm sound asleep. And all of a sudden, I hear this. I wake up, sit up, and I see a car go straight sideways across the highway, misses by inches, slams straight into the center divider. Trunk flies open, shit flies everywhere. And I turn around, I looked in the back window to Steve. Dude, I know I was on the verge of shitting my pants.
It was almost code brown for sure.
It was definitely code brown.
But we get to the race. We want to go see the track, but it's late. It's closed. We go around the backside, hop over a fence. We hear freeze as soon as we, hit the ground. Guy's got a rifle pointed at us, and like, oh, this is great. Mike had arranged the accommodations for us.
And this is where I'm going to tell the story.
Yeah.
So this is the best part of the story is that, through a friend of a friend, we were staying at a family's house. We just get to stay with them all weekend long. So it's Guyby, myself, and Rob Lynch from Pedal Power. Now, JV, you don't know Rob Lynch. EC, I think you remember Rob
Oh,
Lynch.
yeah, I knew Rob.
Think of the dude on The Big Lebowski but super skinny. He was like, "Hey, man, yeah, it's cool, man. It's all cool, man. Yeah,
Rob is the stereotype.
yeah, he is that stereotype. Yeah, oh, dude, yeah, man, yeah,
Yes, he's Dubro.
dude. Hey, man, my truck caught on fire. Yeah, dude."
Exactly.
And so we go to stay at these people's house, and it's in Tennessee. These are Tennessee people, and they're up in the hills, and we're staying with them, and they said, "Hey, a Sunday morning, we're gonna make breakfast for you, and we're gonna have you out for breakfast on Sunday morning." We're like, "Yeah, okay, so no problem." So Sunday morning rolls around, and we wake up, and we go into the dining room, and they're gigantic table. There is not one speck of wood you can see on the table because it is covered in food.
Wow.
Yeah, there's ham, there's
Right.
sausage, there's bacon, there's eggs over easy, there's scrambled eggs, there's gravy with sausage, gravy without sausage. I mean, it's covered. Hey, you boys sit down and have you some breakfast. And as
It's
soon as we
amazing.
sit down, we all have our forks and we start to eat. And that's when the fella goes, the dad goes, "Do y'all know about Jesus?"
Oh,
He,
you gotta
he's
say,
a
you didn't say grace
he's
or
a
anything.
he's a Southern Baptist minister.
We find he's a Southern Baptist preacher. And for the next 40 minutes, we're still with our forks, our knives and forks standing like this, and he's telling us about the gospel of Jesus. He's just giving us the sermon. Meanwhile, Rob had gotten up early, went outside, and he was the dude. So he was a wake and bake kind of guy. So he went outside, he came back in, he sat down between Steve and I, and as the man's preaching to us, Steve and I are holding our forks, and Rob's just going to town. "Yeah, oh yeah, dude, that's cool." Dude, I don't know if you guys have ever tried to eat 40 pounds of food and then race BMX. You can't do it, but you can apparently if you hit a bong load before you start.
Well, the bad postscript to all of this is, I think you broke your arm. I broke my collarbone.
Oh
So
man.
coming back home, we're in probably Oklahoma. It's pouring rain. All three of us are stuffed in the front seat of my little Isuzu pickup at that point,
Oh my God.
and just it was a miserable ride home.
Wow.
This is what I remember about the way home is Rob said, "Oh, because we were cramped." He goes, "Oh, to hell with this." He's hit a bong load and get in the back. He just lays in the back bed. He's fine in the rain. So there's Steve and I driving. Well, I got one arm busted. He's got the other arm. So Steve would clutch and I would shift, and Steve would clutch
Oh
and I would shift.
man.
And that's how we got going. And once we were in fifth gear, Steve was on his own.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh man, it was.
but
But you know what? Again,
that was
I
that
would
was
have
probably
never have got to. I would have never have got to Tennessee to race BMX to see what that was like to see without Steve Giberson.
well. I mean, what were our options at that point? We could have gone on the SE bus at the that was the first time they went out with the bus on the newly revamped bus that
That broke down.
It was so
pillowcase
broke down,
massacre,
right?
and
Yeah.
Yeah, broke down all those times. The pillowcase massacre, right? Yeah, we
yeah.
wasn't an option. And when I found out Steve was going, I was like, "Hey, can I get a ride? Can I get a ride?"
And then we had finally crashed out on the grass, and so the next day, everybody starts driving in, and we're getting razzed left and right because we're sleeping out on the grass on the entrance to the track. So it was pretty funny.
Anything that happened. Well, Steve, my next question is, uh, dude. So I don't know. Now I know that Oz asked you for the darkroom job, but how did you end up as the editor of BMX Action?
I mean, it was like, for the first year, I was there for about 6 years, was editor for the last 2.5. Um, I mean, he would always ask opinions on photos. Hey, which one should we run? How do we want to lay this out? It was sort of like getting a master class in learning how to shoot and write and everything else from him. But especially once I moved into the editor spot, it was kind of brutal. I mean, it was like 4 years of college in about 6 months.
Phew.
And when I first started, he had Len Weed as the editor, and Len had been editor of Dirt Bike magazine, and um, he was a great writer. He did a book with Brad Lackey on, the how to train for motocross, things like that. Um, but he had a style, that he was writing for BMXA, which was a little more kid oriented, and it was, sing songy, rhymey, and it I would say quirky would be polite, in how it was. So he would start asking me questions like, "Hey, if you were running it, what would you do in this situation?" Or, so I was getting schooled all along in this. If you go the batch of photos that I sent over, there's some shots. We'd go out for photo shoots. That shot of Stu jumping over the three Porsches. I'm helping set up the ramps for that. Um, I don't know if you remember the Mongoose ad where I think it was Bobby Woods jumping over the hood of the Mongoose team truck.
Yeah, the
We went out and
Suburban.
set that up and
Yep.
shot it. And I was involved in a lot of different stuff. The darkroom took a certain amount, but I'd run errands, and I was doing all kinds of things that needed to get done around the magazine. But
Trophy dash
I
winner
know.
at an ad show.
Jeez.
Don't even try to sell that short, man. It was huge.
but after breaking this wrist, this one was never as strong again. So anytime I would start banging bars, I'd go shooting off to the right side and just pound that right shoulder into the ground. Um, you know, I broke about 3 collarbones in rapid succession and was like, ugh.
Wow.
And at that point, I couldn't even envision doing a moto without crashing. So I was like, I'm going to take a little break from it, and kind of backed off for a little while. Came back and broke it 4 more times. So
Oh my gosh.
So, Steve,
yeah.
when you became the editor, this is a question I was talking over with JV. I was like, man, it was blowing my mind. I was thinking about what what changes what changes do you think were made to the magazine based on you,
Mm.
and what was the hardest thing do you think for Oz to give up?
Honestly, I think he was okay with letting some of that stuff, a bit of it go, and it freed him up to do some of these other projects that he wanted to do. He still shooting fine art gallery stuff, scenics and things like that. So,
Mm.
What was there
um,
anything he would chirp in on? Was there anything he would come back to you on?
uh, everything got looked at. So, um, what would the big changes be? I don't know. It was. I think I was kind of continuing on in the same direction that we had been doing.
Mm.
Um, but during that time, freestyle was starting to develop. So we also had freestyling starting about the same time that I was editor over there. Um, there was it was kind of reaching a split. Really. So it was interesting to try and manage how much freestyles in BMXA versus the freestyling side, and um, there's sort of the Osborne family business too, where Wendy's shooting stuff, RL's there, he's getting a certain amount of coverage every issue, and a little bit of that became mandated. Um, so wrestling with that kind of stuff was a little bit interesting.
That's funny.
Was there anything, Steve, that you got the hard no from Bob? Like, can you recall anything that you really wanted to do and he was just like, nope, that ain't
No,
happening.
if you had good justification for it, and
Yeah.
especially if it was creative and kind of headed down a different path that maybe they hadn't done before, he would pretty well buy in.
Oh.
Um, I don't know if you remember, there was a shot of Harry Leary we shot in the studio where he's really tucked back on his bike. The front half is normal, and then I had Andy Jenkins do the back half of it as
Oh.
a cartoon.
It was
You know,
the Maxell. It was the Maxell commercial, the ad.
Yeah.
kind of,
Yeah,
yeah.
like where the guy's sitting in the chair and the speakers.
Oh,
barrel
yeah,
on
yeah,
the back.
yeah.
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 I remember that ad complete. I had no idea you were involved in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just
Yeah.
to kind of come up with the concept of it, get it shot, everything else, stuff like that. It was super fun. we always had a concept for a story, or, hey, it's going to start out with a 2-page intro. We need to figure out something cool to go in there. It's going to be this many pages long. We needed to fill out or figure out how to fill up the space, and how we were going to do it, who it was going to be, all that kind of stuff. Figuring out a table of contents every issue. You'd come with a list of ideas, and um, you know, yes, no. You if stuff didn't make it past that table of contents meeting, that's where it would get shot down.
Yeah.
It would be pretty early in the process.
Were you there for the terrible 10?
Yes.
Was there an 11 in there?
He was there. You were actually there for both, the first two.
Probably, yeah.
For sure, the first one. That was
Yeah.
when you shot at Elsinore.
Yeah.
But the second one, that's the one I made, and
That's
that's the one they're laughing about.
That's right. That's the one that our friend Judd Ciencio did not make it in. That's all. That's just
I
a
don't
plug
know.
at him.
I
That's
think
just a
that
dig
was.
at him.
I think that was Gork, actually.
Yeah, that was Gork on the second one, because I think he still hates Gork for that.
Yeah, I think it was actually. I think that was right when I was on Hutch. That was '86, and I think it was like March or April of '86 or something like that.
But that's one of the things that has been really cool in my career is, after BMXA was Super BMX. Once it closed down, went over to Mountain Biking Magazine, which was still Challenge Publications. Went to work at Specialized. After that, get down. I had some other quirky jobs. I worked for an IndyCar team for a little bit. Worked for a place called Education to Go, building educational websites. Then worked at Transworld Motocross for quite a bit, or probably 3 years, and then worked at Vital MX after that. But but the thing that's cool is, okay, so I move over to the mountain bike side, and hey, here's all my old friends. Eric's in there, Cully, Brian Lopes. Oh, hey, John Tomac. And then later when I'm doing moto stuff, now I'm dealing with Eli, and they're generations of people.
That's
Stuff
so cool.
stuff that never would have happened if I was, if I didn't have the injuries, didn't work at the magazines, things like that. So still seeing.
It's supposed to happen, right? Like stuff like that. You figure. I mean, it doesn't make sense at the time, but when you look back on it, right? Hindsight's 20/20, and you look back on it and you go, "Wow, man! Like these things lined up in such an amazing way." And dude, the list of places you've been and the run that you've had is pretty awesome. I mean, it's phenomenal, actually.
And the influence you've had on the sport of BMX, people don't realize it. Huge influence.
Yeah.
Starting with the aluminum seat post clamp.
I mean, I've got to think that, an inventor is always making crazy shit all the time. You must have come up with other shit that like we don't even know about.
Or that I don't want you guys to know about. No.
Yeah, right. There's got to be something there.
There was a little era where, hey, side plates are cool on BMX bikes. Side plates were never cool. Yes, I made some. I did a little run of number plates for a while that had snaps on, because you're taking number plates off and on. It had snaps on there, so it just wrapped around the bar, and I did some stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well,
I think, I mean, like the time that you were at BMX Action, I mean, 80 to 86, I think before 80, there was a lot going on and it was growing, but man, the growth between 80 and 86, and then
it was crazy.
And to Mike's point, the influence, right? Because let's be honest, right? BMXA was, it was a step above. Like BMX Plus was cool, but it wasn't BMXA, and everybody knew it. And so, I mean, to think about the influence that you had on that, and man, I still think, like, we've talked about it many times on a number of other podcasts. The impact that BMX action had, I don't think it was just for BMX. I think it bled over into other sports, and the vibe that it had, I think it created like a movement, if you will, because BMX
Mhm.
was so big in those times, right? And when the years that when you went other places, there was a dip. There was a
Yeah,
dip
oh,
in
it
BMXA.
wasn't because of me, but it here's one other job that I had as uh, I don't even know if you guys remember it or not. For about a minute and a half after I left BMX Action, I was the Red Line team manager. So, and before I would go to races and hey, I'd quiz some of the teams. Hey, what races are you going to? And they're like, no, we want to know what races you're going to. Well, if I pick poorly, like there were weekends, once I had left the magazine and I'm into some of the races that everybody was going to because the magazines were covering it, I'm like, man, what a crap race I picked. And then people would go to one race on a Saturday and then they'd go to some other place on a Sunday because that's where they really wanted to be. So, and it was fun doing the team manager thing for a minute, but that was not really my gig. So, but
No.
getting Billy Griggs signed up on Redline was probably my good point over there.
Mm.
It was cool. Some of the cool stuff was, there was the whole white era of Redline team uniforms. So the era that I kind of instituted was the red jerseys,
Yeah.
then the big Redline logo on top of the helmet. And I was straight ripping that off from Husqvarna with when they had that used to run that crown on top of Chuck Son's helmet. And I thought that was super cool. And so, it was sort of like Team Honda jersey.
Yeah.
I knew from being a photographer that, hey, red always pops. And, you know, it was bringing influences from other places.
Yeah, motocross.
The
Is
But
best
on,
thing,
on
back
the
to
other hand,
always back to moto. Hey, I want to compliment you on something. We are just talking about how you were the editor of BMX Action. Oz was when it ramped up and the sport was really, really, really growing. And I happened to look down at here at my feet, and I had this picture. But you were the editor, I believe, at the absolute highlight of the sport.
yeah.
When
yeah,
you would draw when the sport was at its highlight, and we had the biggest crowds ever at any
Yeah.
event. That's when you were at the helm.
it's and it was kind of everywhere. You would see BMX and TV commercials for totally non-BMX related products. And, it was definitely a thing back then. So yeah,
And
it,
you
it was a
and you were the
great time
king of
to,
it. You were at the helm of the
Yeah.
biggest ship in BMX. You
I don't
could
know about
you
King. I was just running as fast as I could to keep up.
Yeah. But the thing is, to Mike's point, you were steering the ship. And
Yeah.
and Oz, I think Oz worked with you to get you into that position where he entrusted you to do that. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like he
Yeah.
brought you along and was like, okay, sweet, and asked the questions about other guys and different things, and it was like, okay, sweet. He's ready. He's our guy. And you were the
and
guy.
and you were legit.
Yeah.
Yep. You actually, you knew the sport inside and out. You could tell the stories and take the pictures from both perspectives. And
Yeah, it,
that's what
it
really
made
made
it
it
pretty,
special to me.
yeah, it did make it easy. I mean, looking at years of motorcycle magazines, years of looking at BMX magazines, uh, I don't know. I remember riding my 20-inch bike from Riverside to Fontana just to see if the new issue of the magazine had come out over at Rick's Bicycle City.
So
Um, just wacky stuff.
Yeah.
That's like what 20-mile ride on a BMX bike just
For a
to
In
see
magazine.
if the magazine's there. Not pick
in,
up the phone and that might not have been my best move ever.
in 105
but
degrees.
that's how much we dug the magazine back then.
Yeah.
Just waiting to see what would be in the new issue.
So
And it goes back to that time when I walk in the Riverside bus station and just see that on the newsstand and just completely blown away that there was actually a glossy magazine for BMX.
yeah.
I think it's like, we were fortunate enough to speak with different pioneers of the sport, right? Like Dave Clinton and Byron, and at that time they were testing different bikes, and clearly they through conversation with them, they changed the bike to kind of like what it became, right, in the early 80s, and then of course it morphed and changed then.
Right.
As an editor, I think it's interesting because you also have a piece of that. Like, right, like because you make a decision, because we all read it, what a trend could be, or like,
Right.
I think that's very interesting too, because you have the ability, or you and a team have an ability to kind of influence people on the outside to adopt something and to take that in. How do you I'm very interested, Steve, like how do you decide what that could be? Like what makes you think this is the next freestyle is going to be, we got to cover that. That is going to be the thing that's going to propel. Does that
Yeah.
come to mind at all, or?
It's does it work or not?
Yeah.
We, I mean, honestly, a lot of the bike tests back then were almost like destructive tests. Um, you know, and that may have been a little bit of the demise of Super. We had a test with Rich Bartlett on a very inexpensive GT bike that did not go super well, and GT was pumped or not pumped at all. Dropped their ads, and I think that was kind of the end of the magazine. So I mean, it was almost became like a double-edged
Uh,
sword.
wow.
Um,
Yeah. So you
we
have to be
we
careful with what you're
yeah.
kind of,
How honest can you be?
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of times I remember a Raleigh bike that we tested that I think the forks were headed south and the frame was headed north, and you know we kind of just called them up and said, hey, if we run this, it's not going to be great for you guys,
Yeah.
and just give them the option to opt out, or hey, do you have something better? You could force a little bit of evolution in some of the manufacturers. Hey, this is not great, we weren't crazy about this,
Ah.
if you fix this, it would probably be a lot better. um but on the other hand, when freestyle first started, you would see wacky frame standard stuff and just
Shit
the
hanging off
weirdest
everywhere.
glued on, oh yeah, just wacky stuff, and people were just they're throwing everything at bikes just to see if, hey, do people like it? Will it work?
Right.
Just call it freestyle.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there was two more things I wanted to ask you about. The first one
Okay.
was, this is a big one, Steve. If I don't say anything else on this podcast, it's this right here. Um, it's important that I get to say this. I get to tell the story, and then I get to say the most important thing I have to say. One, the name Hollywood Mike Miranda. I was given that nickname by Steve Giberson,
That's
and
awesome, dude.
it was not at all a compliment.
Yeah, but you turned it around and rocked it. So
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm still trying to live it down. But to anyone that may not know the story, back when Steve and I were working at Corona Raceway, there was a local pro, and he had the reputation of roosting on the kids and doing. How would you describe him, Steve? I'm not mentioning his name. How would you describe him?
he was a very cocky pro racer, especially for, I mean, local hero status. He would do okay at the nationals, and but he actually also rode for Ramona. He was a high school motocross guy too.
On
So
Steve's opposing team. It was a rival of Steve's team.
uh,
And
mhm.
he was, like you say, he was a local hot shoe, but that's what he was, a local hot shoe. And then he shows up at the Super Bowl of, well, let me back up.
I know
And
you're
we
talking.
would use his name as oh man, why are you being such a guy like that? Why are you being this guy? Why are you being that guy? And he showed up at the Super Bowl of motocross
Yep.
with Hollywood on the back of his jersey. And we were like, oh, totally slapped yourself. Oh, we're so embarrassed. Oh my gosh, this guy cannot believe this guy called him out so. Fast forward like a week later at Corona Raceway, and I'm at the races. I forgot my jersey. All I had to wear was this gigantic Hawaiian shirt that my dad used to use to check the oil in his dipstick. And it had, big collar and oil streaks everywhere. And I'm riding down the track in last place. And Steve Giberson says, within earshot of the announcer, he says, "Oh, check out Hollywood." Dude, it was not meant as a compliment.
That's amazing.
And the announcer at the time was Craig Kundrig from Riverside Schwinn RRS. And like on Monday, I walk into the shop and all the guys yell out, "Hey, Hollywood!" I hated it, absolutely hated it. But like Steve said, it stuck.
Yep.
Not meant as a compliment, but it
Amazing.
stuck. But
Amazing.
that's due to Steve. And the other thing due to Steve is, I would not be here today. I would not have had the BMX career I had at all. Wouldn't have got the exposure because he was with BMX Action. I wouldn't have got the experience of traveling all over and racing different tracks in different races. And none of this would have happened without Steve Giberson. So I do owe everything I have in part to Steve Giberson, and I'll never ever get this chance again to Steve to do it in public to say thank you so much for what you gave me.
I'm glad you see it like that. You had the speed, you had the jumping skills, you had the everything else that backed it up. So, yeah, you would have made it either way, I think.
No way. There's absolutely no way I wouldn't have had the experience of doing all the things I got to do. Getting, like I said, getting to go to Grass Valley and race, and getting to do all these other things I got to do would not have happened without Steve Giberson. And the guidance you gave me, the calming effect. I told my wife I married Steve Giberson. The fact that you two have so much in common. You're mellow, she's mellow.
Mm-hmm.
She puts up with a lot. You had to put up with a lot. And this just the things that I still do that I did when I was a kid. One time, my friend Lenny Carter and I were in the back of Steve's truck. We were coming back from going to a race, or coming back from a race from Azusa, and Steve sees us loading rocks in our pockets. And like, what?
I was expecting it because this is not the first time that happened.
So we're heading back from Azusa, and we both go, "Oh no, we'll just ride in the back. We'll ride in the bed. We're fine. We're gonna ride. It's hot out. We're gonna ride in the back." And so as we're driving, once we get off the freeway, Lenny and I are pelting people with rocks.
Oh,
Anyone on the side of the road, we're just hitting them with rocks. And we have this big dude with a tank top on, just big muscular guy. And we threw rocks at him, and apparently Steve saw it and heard him cursing. And Steve locks the brakes up, pulls over, and waits for us. And the guy starts running straight at us. And he was seconds from pulling us out of the truck and just whipping the tar out of us. And just as he goes to reach for us, Steve takes off and says, I told you effers, never do this again." Never again. Never again. So, same as my wife, she tells me all the time, "Hey, never again. Don't do that anymore."
That's so
So
good.
I married Steve Giberson.
Yeah, I got one other story for you. Remember the race in Tacoma?
Oh, sure.
Warming our hands by the fire. Hey, why is the fire going so good?
Why is the fire burning so hot and so high?
Go for it, Mike.
Well, that you were there, Eric.
I was at that race.
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
JV, the race was in Tecate, Mexico, and it was sponsored by the Tecate Brewery.
Dude.
And they had this gigantic free buffet at the race with beans made out of river water, and
Oh my God.
several species of spaniel were mixed into the meat. I'm sure of it. Anyway, everybody, and I mean everybody, got the trots.
Yeah.
Montezuma's revenge.
Oh
Anyway,
my
so
God.
that night, the first night after the buffet, before anything kicks off, if you know what I mean, we're all like this by the fire. We're by the fire. And somebody asked, why is this fire burning so hot and so high? Steve, you tell it now.
Well, it goes back to Lenny, Mike's friend from back in the day. And Well, Lenny shit his pants and he threw it in the fire.
Oh my
We
God.
go from doing this to whoa. Everybody's running
Like
from the
this, he
fire
goes,
at that
Then
point.
he goes, why is this burning so hot? I threw my pants in. Why'd you throw your pants in? Oh, I shit in them. Everybody goes,
Oh my gosh.
oh. We told the story about that race, about one of the best trophies ever.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And my
They-
nephew
they
Tony
were
won one. Yeah,
Cast Aztec warrior type thing.
yeah, big
Oh.
bronze Aztec warrior, heavy.
Yeah, they were.
My-
That was crazy.
Did you win one, EC?
I didn't win one, man.
Did you?
I don't know. I actually don't remember what place I got. I remember that trip distinctly because my mom was so paranoid about getting the trots. Don't drink the water. Don't drink the water. Don't eat the food. Don't do that. And so we brought our own food. We had a camper, and then, as you guys remember, bikes by the dozens were getting stolen.
Oh man.
I mean, like dozens and dozens of bikes. They were just thieving bikes, one after the other. So I was so paranoid the whole weekend because as soon as I rode my bike, I wasn't allowed to ride it anywhere. I had to ride back to the camper, put it in the camper, and we locked it inside the camper to the sink trap inside the camper so nobody would steal the bike. But I remember the stuff like the fire and that stuff and the atmosphere. It was a lot different than racing at the Santa Ana Elks or in Colorado.
Well, firecracker fights the night before where
Yeah.
you light the firecracker, you're holding it in your hand, watching the fuse burn down, and then drop it on the guy's chest next to you.
Yeah. It was real Mexico, man. And it was just anything kind of went is what I remember. But
And real 70s kids,
Yes.
70s, early 80s stuff you could get away with. That I don't know if you can get away with it now or not.
I know that it was an 8-man gate, and there were a lot of mains with only 6 and 5 people in it because people were shitting
Oh
their
my
pants.
God.
Missing their mains, shitting their
not an
pants.
exaggeration, JB. That literally like that. Mike is not exaggerating. There were a ton of bikes stolen, and everybody got the trots, dude.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it was
Not us, not the Mirandas. We were eating hot sauce. You just pour chili on everything. It'll make it okay. It's okay.
Sterilizing stuff.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, mijo.
That was something else that you and I used to do, Mike. We'd go over to E Street and
In San Bernardino. Yeah.
speaking of San Bernardino, we need to bring in Cloudline.
Oh my
And-
gosh,
and
I
Waterman
forgot about
Canyon.
that. Dude, I have I'm missing part of my palm of my hand. So
So
Steve
we-
also
we would-
introduced me to this little thing of BMX, which I never knew about. We would all pile into the back of his truck, and then we would drive to the bottom of Waterman Canyon
It was Wildwood Park down 40th and Waterman in San Bernardino.
in San Bernardino at the base of Big Bear Mountain.
Yeah.
And we would all get out. This is crazy to think about, Steve. We're all like 13, 14, 15 years old. Steve's
Yep.
16 or 17. We would all get out, stand by the corner, and just all hitchhike with our BMX bikes. And sure enough, you never waited more than 20 minutes, and a pickup
No.
truck would pull over. We would throw all our bikes in the back of the guy's pickup truck. And then this guy, same thing, typically construction guy, driving up to the top of the mountain on the windy road, hauling ass, drinking beers, and throwing the empties out the window. Get to the top, or one of us would knock on the window, and at the Crestline Bridge, or whatever the bridge was, we'd knock on the window, and he'd pull over, and we'd all get out, and we would race down the mountain.
The highway.
On the regular highway, on the freeway, coming down the mountain, all the way down to the bottom, back to the park.
So you guys were GPV before.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, GPV, dude, with knobby tires. You
Yeah.
know, only
But-
Steve had a drum brake. We had just cheap ass
No, some of this
coaster
was
brake.
still
We had coaster
brake
brakes.
era.
Yeah,
So there were two options. You'd get about halfway down. You could go on this fire road. We'd end up pushing partway, but then it's like 10 miles of just fun, fast fire road. We're doing mountain bike stuff before mountain bike days.
Yeah.
The other way you could go is if you went down to Waterman Canyon, there were these Hessian kids from San Bernardino that you would go down, Waterman Canyon was paved, but all of a sudden, if you're following these guys, all of a sudden they'd shoot off the side. They had trails and jumps built up, and they'd hit these things on the side and then drop back in. And it was amazing to watch.
Mind you, you're going downhill a mountain road and this steep canyon with these big turns, and you're behind a local, and all of a sudden he cuts right in front of you, goes like at a 45-degree angle off the road, and you see him at 30 miles an hour hitting a jump, getting mega air, coming back down and back onto the road again. And so if you did it more than once, you know who to follow and you know where to hit the jumps. And if you didn't do it right, or if you followed too close or whatever, that's what happened to me. There was a big turn in the middle of it, and a guy named Charlie came in. I was coming around the turn, and all of a sudden I looked to my left on the inside, and he's on the inside lane. And I go, at his speed, I go, there is no way this guy's going to make the turn. And he absolutely took me out, and I skidded for, whatever, probably 50 yards, threw my glove, and just ground down to I'm missing part of my palm right there. And you know what you did? You duct taped it, and you put your thumb out, and you get to ride back up the next one. Keep on going.
Dude, that's a long. If you went up to the bridge that you're talking about,
Yeah.
Hollywood, it's a long ways. Because that's like, if you're gonna go to Sky Park, that's how you go to Sky Park.
Exactly right. You know exactly where it is.
Yeah.
Every time I get to that bridge, I go, oh yeah, this is where we would knock on the window and get out.
And Waterman Canyon is off to the side of the road you take to Sky Park.
Yeah.
Down in the canyon.
Yep.
Wow.
And I remember doing that more than a few times with you, Kevin McNeil, Leo Green. We would have kind of a group going up there. It was pretty fun.
I remember, and I can't remember exactly who it was that did it first, but we would tuck, and you'd put your hand next to your handlebars. Mind you, this is before saber plates. You would get down as low as you could. And I remember somebody, and I don't know who it was, Steve, but I still remember seeing somebody pass me because they were tucked and they had their hands.
It was Brian Dworshak.
It was Dworshak, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Dworshak would let go of his bars and tuck his hands behind like a ski racer, and would go zooming by you on his torquer. Most everybody had a torquer back then. God, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Dangerous as all get out.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude.
I'm just
It would be
surprised
dangerous
nobody
now.
died.
Yeah.
It would, if with modern technology on your bike right now, it would still be gnarly. You'd still be hauling ass.
Well, first of all, on a modern BMX bike, you couldn't do it because the steering is so steep.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Wow, dude. What a memory.
Gosh.
Yeah. Well, we had in our local town, we had a small mountain that peaked up. It was called Mount Rubidoux.
Yep.
And we would push our bikes to the top, and then we would ride down the road coming down. And we did that, like I said, it'd be 105 degrees, and we'd do it 10, 11 times during the day.
Well, I'd do the hiking trails.
Yeah, because it was faster.
Ride back down the trails.
Oh.
And then the other thing I did was it was a home built side hack. I had a broken frame, broken Stingray frame. The guy found this guy to weld up a couple gussets on the side, add half a old bike on the other side, and had probably some plumbing pipe to hold all this thing together. And so I recruit a friend of mine. Hey, we're going to go, where's the first place you're going to take a side hack that you don't know how to ride? Up Mount Rubidoux.
Sure, Mount
Yeah.
Rubidoux. Of course.
So-
It's only because
So
Crestline was too far. Big Bear was too far to go, so we just did Rubidoux.
So I'm piloting this thing, and the guy decides he's going to lean way out around this one corner, but where he does it is it's a pretty sharp corner, and he leans out so far it picks up the back tire, which is my coaster brake tire.
Yes.
And I'm looking straight ahead, and there's a cliff or hit this big rock on the outside of the road. I hit that thing and it broke the frame again, just tumbled, but it shot us to the inside, and we didn't end up going off the cliff. Otherwise, we're probably not doing this podcast right now.
No.
Yeah. So
All right,
yeah, just
let me
wacky
tell
stuff.
let me tell about Steve Giberson, the cheater.
All right.
All right.
Steve Giberson's a cheater. Should
Okay.
have been, I don't know what the rules are or how you disqualify someone like this, but Steve Giberson's a cheater. In that magazine cover I held up, it was also the race in Memphis. And it was one of the things was is they really blocked off who could and who could not come in the infield. And I'm sure in the rule book it tells you there's certain things you can do and certain things you can't do. And as I'm winning, as I'm racing the pro race, as we're going on 3 mains, Steve would be in the infield because he was BMX Action Magazine, and he would yell to me as I'm coming around, 2 bikes, Michael. He would call me Michael. 2 bikes, 4 bikes. He would let me know how far back the guy behind me was, so I could take the outside of the turn or not have to guard the inside. And I never said thank you to you, Steve, but I remember, especially at Memphis, remember you doing that, and I was able to weave my way around and to a little bit of success because Steve would cheat and be my pit crew on the inside at Indy. And I
I'll just
remember
say
not long ago when I was
rapidly.
writing the rule book for Dirty Fest, and to do so, I went back to an 80s BMX rule book and I was reading all the rules, and it said something about that you're not allowed to do that. And I thought to myself, oh, Steve Giberson was cheating.
No coaching.
I'll blame it on advanced age. I don't remember that.
It was just bending. It wasn't cheating. It was just
Yeah, yeah.
bending a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I had to maybe help out my old B Pro nemesis.
You and Mike, obviously, Guyby, had an awesome relationship, and you guys, you basically grew up together, and you were instrumental in his career. But for me as well, man, you were instrumental in my career. I believe I met you like in Harbor or Ascot and down there when you were down in South Bay working for BMX Action.
Mhm.
I was
Still racing. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were still racing, but also magazining and stuff. And for a while, I was just a local main maker and a 4th or 5th at a Gold Cup type guy. And
Prom kid.
I was a
Yeah.
prom kid, yeah.
Yeah.
And as I started to get a little bit better, I remember talking with you about stuff and like, dude, when am I going to get in the magazine? When am I going to get in the magazine? And you distinctively said to me, super distinctive, and you said, you got to do something that deserves to be in the magazine. And dude, that lit a fire under my ass like nothing, man. Because we were friends before that, but
Right.
and I started going faster and doing better, and lo and behold, you held up your side of the bargain and put a picture in the magazine, and that was my first real picture in the magazine, not an
Nice.
ad with VDC or anything like that. It was the first real picture where I earned a picture based on my merits of going fast as a racer, and I never forgot that, man. It's always been, and I think when I saw you out at Paula last year,
Mhm.
I think we talked about that as well. So when my boys were there and we were talking about it, so it was super important, man. It's a small thing to some, but man, it was so instrumental.
It's a stepping stone for sure. Get some coverage, get some attention from other manufacturers and things like that. You know, if you kind of become marketable in your own way, you know.
Yeah, but for me,
Partly for results, but partly for personality, style, whatever you bring to the game, you know.
yeah, but it was also like it wasn't just other people seeing me at that point, but it was a little bit of validation for that I was starting to
Right.
go fast, but it also was that shot in the arm that I needed, that like, okay, like somebody's noticing, and somebody is the arguably the most influential and most important person in the magazine game right now. Steve Giberson is noticing and validating, and so that makes a young Grom like myself go, wow, you know what, I think I can do this. I think Steve put this picture in, and wrote that I was going fast. Oh my gosh. I think I can do this thing. I think I can actually make this happen. And that's the part that I know you're aware of that, Steve. You're a super wise person, and you're very smart, and you realize all the nuances on things like that. But for me, I wanted to make sure that when I saw we were going to be recording with you, I wanted to make sure that, like Mike, I wanted to acknowledge that, and that how pivotal that was. Jeez, how pivotal that was for me at a time when I needed it to be pivotal, because I was on the fence. I literally was on the fence of, do I keep doing this, or this is a waste of my time? And man, it's just, it's awesome. So I wonder how many kids, how many pros, how many top riders that you had that same influence on, and you had that same experience with. Yeah, I really do.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes I wonder too, because you're helping people get exposure. How
Mhm.
much did it help, sign, somebody sign a deal with a team or something like that? You definitely did have influence, but a lot of it you never knew if it was based on your stuff or something else.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
on a bigger note, on a much bigger note, how many kids read the magazines and were influenced to try to stay in the sport as opposed to getting in a life of crime, getting into
Yeah.
trouble, doing drugs?
That's my
yeah,
point.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
on a much bigger scale, Steve, you had a much bigger influence than you'll
yeah.
ever realize.
And here's
But
the thing. Go ahead, Steve.
well, I remember at a certain point in your career, you're telling me, we're going out and doing a photo shoot, but you're telling me about, hey, I'm going to go to this club tonight, and I went to this club last night, and it might be a club the night after that too, and I'm like, you sure you want to do that?
Yeah. Yeah, I was,
I
So
think it was called the Metro.
yeah.
Metro.
Yeah, it was, that was a time too. There was that time as well. But the thing about it though, Steve, that I liked about it, and it was, like I said, you're wise, and similar to, well, it's not similar, but the lesson with Mike and Lenny in the back of your truck, right? Like slowing down and letting those guys and let the guy get close, and then like you taught him a lesson, right? And for me, it would have been so easy for you. Like you easily at any moment could have just put a picture of me in the magazine, but you didn't, right? What did you say? You said you got to do something to deserve it,
yeah,
right? And that's super, super important. And it's something that we don't, there's a lot of participation trophies and ribbons and plaques nowadays, man.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And
I hear you.
everybody gets something. And
You slice the pie thin enough on classes, everybody goes home with a trophy.
that's right. And so it was a different time, man. And I thought that was, as I grow up and as I'm a parent and I'm raising kids and I start to think back to that, and it's like, dude, that was awesome, right? Like
Mm.
that was a motivational moment, a pivotal moment that taught me a lesson. Like, dude, earn it. Go get
Yeah,
it. Like, don't beg for it. Don't ask for it because you know him, because you're friends with him at the local track and you have access to him. You didn't say, "Oh yeah, I'll get you in the next issue." You were like, "Do some shit, dude."
yeah. Whether we've been friends or
It's just like I said, I wish there was a way to track. Nowadays you could probably figure out a way to do it with algorithms and all kinds of bullshit, but I wish there was a way to know how many people have a similar story to
Mm.
myself or even Mike, and of how influential, because dude, you were steering the ship of the Bible of our sport.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
In its
literally.
absolute heyday.
Yes.
Yeah, and I appreciate the feedback from you guys on that I had any kind of influence at all on that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. But yeah, you never know on a lot of guys whether you helped, boosted a career that might have gone sideways some other way or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
easy.
I can just
$14.
I can only speak for me that you were nothing but a positive influence the entire time, all the time, a calming influence, sometimes a parental influence, and never ever a bad influence, never. So yeah,
I
I've said it before. I'll say it again right now publicly. I owe what I am today in large part to Steve Giberson.
JV, and I don't know if I had to go take a whiz, but so I didn't get all of what you guys just talked about. But I could tell, dude, the magazines. One of the things I really, really loved about when I was able to go to the magazine actually is the filing cabinet and how there was a lot of pictures.
Organized.
Yeah, but they were shots that never made it.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
dude, the
cool.
stuff that never made it was so crazy, man, because it was like a lot of stuff was more lifestyle stuff, or it didn't fit
Yeah.
whatever the facial expression was, but there was a lot of like real stuff that was less perfect for the magazine.
Less polished. Yeah.
Yeah, less polished. That's a perfect way to describe it. But man, there was so much. And I remember thinking when they said, yeah, all those BMXA photos got tossed away, I was just like, oh my gosh, man. There's so much history that
Yeah.
just got thrown in a dumpster.
Right.
And it still blows me away. And I wasn't a photographer, I wasn't an editor or anything. And it makes me mad. I can't imagine.
That was the historical record of the early days of BMX.
Totally.
You
100%.
know, so
That was it.
Man.
yeah, I mean, some of the early shots, Pal Freeman flying downhill
Yeah,
and
dude.
anything saddleback, down Bonsai Hill, stuff like that. Just the early, especially the early crazy days.
I've got a couple of Giberson originals.
Oh,
What do you got?
But I want to tell you this one that one of my favorite ones. I can't find it right now. I know I have it. The day that they were shooting for On Any Sunday 2 out at Corona Raceway, Scott
yeah, we were
Breithaupt
out there.
yeah, we were out there, and Steve shot some great shots of Scott Breithaupt and Perry Kramer jumping off not on the starting hill, not even on the track. It was on the back side of the starting hill. There was a motorcycle jump that went off into nowhere. You were just like a ski jump, and they were jumping off of that. And Steve took pictures of it that day, and I have a picture of Perry Kramer and Scott Breithaupt jumping off of that, skying into the air, and it's a Giberson original. That was not this is just pre magazine.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
There's a Giberson original
Wow.
out of the second turn in at Corona on a
Corona.
GJS with my Riverside Schwinn uniform on.
Dude.
I've got some pretty doozies that he gave me a long time ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Racing in jeans on a CW with one-piece cranks.
That you had a
hold on.
layback seat, and you ran a layback seat post at that time.
Yeah, layback seat post because
Very
Roger
good
made
with
them.
that.
How about this one? That's me, number 164, with the BME Bob jersey
Oh,
on. By
yeah.
the
Way.
Yeah.
It's one-piece cranks, Stan Smith shoes, because David Clinton ran them, I had to run them.
Wow.
Yeah, I've got some oldies in here from Steve.
Yeah, you got some good stuff.
Yeah. The photo I don't have is the photo of the big muscular guy in the tank top running after us.
Well,
I don't have that picture.
there was one other time in the back of the truck that I didn't stop, and it was a good thing. And you were in the back of the truck. It was after one of the Super Bowl motocross. We went up to Hollywood and we're driving around, and Mike's hooting at a girl that's on the side of the road, and he quickly realizes it's not a girl.
Oh.
He was beautiful
That
from
was a good one.
behind.
So good.
With his long blonde hair, he was beautiful.
Oh.
And I was like, go, Steve, go, Steve, go. Yeah, remember that? Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh,
No,
Oh,
we've
my
had some
gosh.
adventures for sure.
yep,
The other one
absolutely.
that was, I mean, local races back in the day. How many races would we hit a day? I can remember times when we would hit 3 or 4 races, and some of them were just like weird oddball tracks. But the circuit was so crazy. In Southern California back in the day, we would hit all kinds of races.
Yeah.
And entries were cheap, and you could find good racing all over the place. So yeah, that
Was
was good times.
There was Ukaipa and San Bernardino had the Y, and Corona Norco.
San Bernardino Little League track pizza
Mark Cook,
race.
Mark Cook BMX.
Yeah.
Yes.
The late Mark Cook. Yeah, late Mark Cook.
So it's funny, the place where kind of tying in opposite things, the place where that was giving away the pizzas for the pizza race was the same place Malcolm Smith would have his Christmas party, at the end of the year, have all the employees over there.
What
So
was the name of that? Felipe's Pizza Grotto?
yeah, it was one of my sponsors for about a minute. I would get
Steve used
a
to
free
order
pizza.
Hey, listen to this, JV. I still can't get over. I just can't believe I remember this. I can't get over it. Steve Giberson used to order pizza with cashews on it.
Yeah.
Oh,
No way.
still do that?
Yeah, and I actually found a place up here that called
That will
Garlic
do
Gems.
that?
Yeah,
They do that? Hey, in Oregon, I
it's
can
neat.
understand.
Yeah, well, it's cool because after they cook it, they almost soften up a little bit, so it's almost like having another kind of meat on the pizza.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's not right.
I agree with JV.
Yeah, that's not right.
I never forgot that about Steve.
It's because you haven't tried it. Yeah, that was a leftover from a place that my mom and dad used to go in high school. That was one of the toppings that they had on their pizzas, and they always used to get that one, and yeah, it stuck.
Gosh.
Okay, Steve Giberson, I got to ask you because there's going to be people that wonder. Tell me about your favorite BMX bike you ever had that you raced on.
The PK was really good, and I don't know why it just seemed like it worked pretty well for me. The Pro Neck was pretty good too.
Hear that,
Whenever,
JV?
I
He's
know, I see
plugging you.
that.
That's
yeah.
right.
Wow, I wore the
Um,
right shirt.
I'm sorry, but
I think the Pro Neck was in an era where frames were starting to lengthen out a little bit. So I actually probably had a little extra knee room in there instead of, um, you know, knocking on the back of the bars. And yeah,
you mean instead of this right here?
yeah, yeah,
Well, this is
exactly.
the Steve Giberson I will always remember, always cherish, and always love. Is this guy right here? The guy that kind of taught me everything, taught me the ropes, took me around, and like I said, I owe everything to Steve. You've been an awesome guest on the show, but more importantly, you've been an awesome brother to BMX. You've given so much to the sport, given so much to all of us. I mean, all of us as part of the BMX family. You've given so much to us, and I'm really just stoked that we could have you on here, man.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah, we've been trying to make this happen for a little bit. So yeah, I'm stoked that all the times that we've hung out together, and maybe unfortunately, James, I got out of it a little bit before we got to hang
Yeah.
out more, but EC and Mike for sure. Yeah, I was explaining to my wife today. Yeah, I've known both these. Well, Mike since he was probably 14, and Eric since he was probably 11 or 12, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Oh wow, okay."
That's amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah, it's true.
I was
Yeah.
telling my wife that I married Steve Giberson.
Yeah.
And besides, JV would not have been your friend. The first time he saw those cashews on pizza, that was a deal.
Well, I say the same thing
Deal
for people that
breaker.
have. I say the same thing for people that have pineapple on pizzas. So
That too. That
Yeah.
too.
yeah,
JV doesn't argue. Exactly. You're the same. Yeah. Steve, we love you, man. Thank you for being exactly who you are and for everything you did for us.
Absolutely.
I mean, all of us.
Thank you, Steve.
I
God,
appreciate it. Thanks,
man, it
guys.
was great. It was great to see you before you left town, and Paula, and man, you're one of my favorites, and I always cherish our time together. So this was just a treat. When Mike said we were going to record with Guyby, I was just pumped. So I'm glad you're happy, dude. I'm glad you're having a good time up there and you're enjoying it, man. You deserve it. You've worked your ass off, and like Mike said, you've done so much for all of action sports, and so, dude, I'm happy for you. It's been great to talk with you, bud.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, this has been fun.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. Thank you, Steve.
No problem. See you guys.
See you, Guy V.
Hey, this is John Cruz. no, we're not having an earthquake. I have Parkinson's. What do you think of that, Michael?
We ought to pitch in and get you a gimbal.
That would be nice. But seriously, this is John Cruz, and I obviously have something going on, and I was diagnosed with Parkinson's 20 years ago this year, actually. So I've chosen the Davis Finney Foundation over the years to be my voice for Parkinson's. If you're not familiar with the Davis Finney Foundation, Davis Finney is one of the winningest cyclists in American history. He's the roadie, if you guys remember those roadies out there, all that Lycra and stuff. But he is just a great man. When he was diagnosed with Parkinson's, he decided to make a difference in people's lives. And his choice was to start a foundation. And that foundation obviously wishes for a cure for Parkinson's, because there is no cure at this time. But they recognize that you have to live with Parkinson's. And your caregivers are having to live and take care of us. And the Davis Finney Foundation, that's what they do, is they only look for a cure, but they look for ways to enhance the quality of life for Parkinson's sufferers and their caregivers. So I appreciate all of you supporting the Davis Finney Foundation. It certainly means a lot to me. I know we all have something, right? So I think it's important to give back to our communities, whether it's BMX or a foundation that's close to your heart. If you don't have one, please choose mine. I appreciate you.
Well, thank you, John Cruz. You certainly have made a difference in a lot of lives, including mine, and giving us the opportunity to do something good for somebody else is fantastic. So thank you so much. And on behalf of John Cruz, please find a way to give something to the Davis Finney Foundation on behalf of John Cruz, the Dirty Knobs, and your entire BMX family. Thank you very much.
Hey everybody, Sean here from Rad BMX Builds. If you don't know who I am, I'm retired military owning a small veteran-owned BMX company. I specialize in social media content and build old school and retro BMX bikes from predominantly the 80s. Sometimes I dabble into the 70s and into the 90s, but 80s are my area. I'm a Gen X kid and I love this type of stuff. So if you like old school BMX builds and content, events and shows, make sure you give me a follow on Instagram at rad_BMX_builds. I also have a YouTube channel. Go check us out on YouTube at Rad BMX Builds. I wish all of you a very merry BMXmas, and as always, stay rad.
Hey guys, Matt here from the Nostalgic Neighborhood. We're building a community of friends reconnecting with the best parts of our youth, 80s pop culture, skateboarding, and of course BMX. We've got video coverage of events like the Buckeye Bike Show, Flatland Jams, the BMX Hall of Fame ceremony, and then the Rad event down in Texas with Kevin Hull, Eddie Fiola, and Hollywood himself.
Oh, my third dramatic exit.
I've shared bike builds, we've relived childhood memories, and I've even started flatland riding at 49. In 2025, we're ramping things up, more BMX, more nostalgia. Join us for the fun over on YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, riders. My name's Kevin Wilson from the BMXers podcast, and I want to make a personal invitation to all you dirty bastards out there to come and watch. If you're into old school BMX stories, old school trivia, or building old school bikes, I'd like to invite you to come by the BMXers podcast on the BMXers YouTube channel and check us out. Leave me a message, subscribe, leave me a dirty message. It doesn't matter. Want to hear from you. Thanks very much. And keep watching the Dirty House podcast because that's where it's at. Peace out. Thanks for everything.
Hi, guys. This is Danny Pena from Danny Pena BMX Racing on YouTube. I like to review BMX races. I love going over BMX magazines such as this, BMX Action being my favorite. Huge fan of the Dirty Knobs podcast. I love the fact that they're giving me some support on this. I love talking about BMX. Please go to my channel, like, subscribe, comment. I come up with videos just about every week. Love talking BMX. I do a lot of the old stuff, new stuff, mid-school, whatever you want. Come to my channel. Thanks a lot.
This is Jay Oaks with BMX Breakthrough. Our mission is to grow the sport at the local level. We've reached out to TOs across the country to say, what is your need to better reach new riders, both young and old? And we've put a financial number to that to make it easier for sponsors and donors to jump in and say, I got this one. You can check out our website, bmxbreakthrough.com. Reach out to me directly, jay@bmxbreakthrough.com. We've got our social media at BMX Breakthrough. We've got the podcast as well. Thank you so much for your support, and let's get more kids and adults on bikes.
Guys, you're watching the Dirty Knob Podcast with Mike Miranda, Eric Carter, James Vicente. What the heck? Are you enjoying the show? Well, hey, take a minute. Stop. Pause. Go to your computer. TorqueRacing.com. You know what you want to do. TorqueRacing.com. Check it out. You're going to check out the new Pro X frames. You're going to check out the EK frames. You're going to check out the Barbarians. You're going to see the new Torquer shirts. You're going to see the pads. You're going to see all the new stuff. Go to TorqueRacing.com. You dirty knobs! You've been watching the Dirty Knob Podcast with Mike Miranda, Eric Carter, and James Vicente. Guess what? Now, I'm Bill Ryan. This is Supercross BMX. You need to click on the supercrossbmx.com. Come on over! Buy stuff! We need to sell stuff so we can keep in business, so we can keep supporting the show! Come on! Do it!
Hey folks, this is Mike Rodriguez, aka Mr. Crit. I've been racing and making number plates since 1980. You know, like when they used to do one pedal starts. But you know, Crit Plate has been around for 43 years. The last 4 decades, the who's who of BMX have raced a Crit number plate straight to the handlebars. And you know, you get that guy Mike Savage, the international man of BMX, still doing it strong. And you know, back in the day, the plates used to be reversible because there was multiple sanctions, and you could put, you know, one sanction on one side, one on the other. Now you just got one. But Crit is still reversible, and that logo is still on the back for guys like Mike and you rad guys, you know, like Mike Miranda, who would turn those handlebars and twist them up. And we got it rad just for you.
All right. Hey, where will we see those plates?
Those plates you can see at every single bike shop that stocks BMX stuff in the USA and Canada.
And where will you be at? Will you be at an event sometime soon?
Damn, I'm sponsoring the Dirty Fest, and I can't wait to come out to Southern California and get dirty.
Hey, Dale Holmes, I want to tell you something. One of my favorite podcasts that I never miss is BMX Weekly. Even though it has an accent, I still love it.
Cheers, Mike. You can get all the podcasts on bmxweekly.com. Old school, mid school, today's school. Check it out.
Yeah, BMX Weekly.
Hey, here we go. Hey, Beer Budget BMX, baby. Coming at you live from the Beer Budget Studios over here at the Hack Shack Quarantine. Oh, man, we're coming in hotter than Satan's nutsack. Yeah, we are dirtier than an Alabama strip club where reclass pros go and get lap dances by their half-sister. Yeah, the only show that'll make you second-guess your life choices like a Amish on an e-bike.
Hey, if you guys enjoy what you just listened to, make sure you tune in every Wednesday night to the All Things BMX show, the only live streaming podcast show in the game right now. Even ask Mike. He's been on. Vicente's been on. Still waiting for that other guy to come on the show. You can find us on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. And you can also find us at allthingsbmxshow.com.
Can you imagine cashews on your pizza?
That's not even it's not a real thing, because that was not I've never seen that.
I'm gonna try it now, dude. I'm gonna try it.
Dude, I've never seen that as an option ever.
At Felipe's Pizza Grotto in Riverside, they have cashews on the pizza.
That's ridiculous.
And the first time we went there and he had one, I was like, He goes, here, try it. And I was like, you know. So I tried it, and I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah,
No. I
that
said,
doesn't
no.
work.
Yeah, you flick them off.
Oh, Guy B.
Oh, Guy B.
Can't believe this.
That's awesome.
That's my box of pictures.
Wow.
And what I did find was, I'm gonna just share a couple with you.
I love it.
Can you see this?
Robbie and Mrs. Morales.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've seen that one. That's a Polaroid camera?
Yeah. I saved the best for last.
Oh my gosh, dude. I found that picture as well.
Look at that.
Oh, dude.
You know what that is?
I do. It's your junior high graduation.
That's exactly what it is.
Junior high. Oh, man.
Hey,
I can't believe you got that picture.
oh, dude, listen, your mom, I asked your mom one time. I went out there to, the day I cleaned the rain gutters, I think it was. And I said, I go, hey, it's pictures of ECI. I go, could I have, do you have any old? She goes, well, yeah, take these right here. And I have a little bit of stash.
She was happier than all get out to just dig through those pictures and show you.
She was stoked that I wanted them.
Yes.
And she goes, what are you gonna do with them? Oh, I'm creating an album of, it's gonna use them later on.
Yeah, I'll use them
knew.
Yeah.
She knew. And so she gave me a couple. But the fun part was going through and getting some with her.
Seeing all the other stuff.
Yes, it was great. Yeah.
I know. I told you, Mike, and JV, I'll tell you. There's at least 12 boxes full to the brim of pictures.
Wow.
I thought I didn't have pictures when I was a kid, dude. It's insane how many pictures I found.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild, dude. It's really, really. It's just nuts how many pictures. So we're gonna have a.
Get them digital or something like that, right? You send them out.
I'm gonna figure out how to do that, but I'm gonna have it when Ethan comes back home for either to stay or actually just to see us. I'm gonna bring those pictures in, and we're gonna sit down for a couple hours and just.
That's cool.
And really go through them and show them, because, dude, I've never been able to really show. I mean, I've got a few little albums, but I have nothing from when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's cool. I guess.
Yeah, I have all of it, dude.
Right.
Yeah, it's really wild.
Oh yeah, I'm still. Oh, here it is. Look.
Oh, whoa, that's cool.
That's Scott Breithaupt and Perry Kramer at Corona Raceway.
Wow,
that's an awesome picture.
And right there, Lenny Chicken Man Carter.
Oh my gosh.
That's a cool picture.
So rad, dude.
Yeah, I got to scan it so I can use it in the photo in the podcast. Oh, there's some good ones though. Oh,
I love it, dude. Isn't it phenomenal to see this stuff?
Yeah, like this.
Yeah.
Me with my ear torn off.
Ugh.
Oh my gosh.
Followed by, I got this. Me with my finger cut off.
God.
Ugh.
Ugh. Oh, here's one. Here's one. This one's sentimental. That's me.
Yep.
And the guy right here was my RRS teammate and best friend at the time, Sam Uarte. He was the first one of my friends to buy a car. And he was on his way to my parents' house and got hit by another car and died.
Oh shit!
First person I knew that died.
Was that were you at Twin Palms there?
No, that's at a little BMX jump area we made right by in Riverside. Yeah. Oh, dude, here is a doozy.
I think I have a picture of you sitting in the background of a picture of me racing Bruno at Orange Y.
Really? Mark Bruno?
Yep. And you guys are sitting behind, it would be the second berm. And I'm going through, when it was you inside of you, you're sitting at the second berm, and I'm going through the last berm, and the picture is being taken basically from the finish line, and you guys are in the background watching the race.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
It was 9 maybe.
JV?
It's the same day. That's taken the same day.
That's in Tahiti. Look at those shorts and look at the shoes, the Flojos.
Dude.
That's a crazy outfit.
That is incriminating.
I've never seen that.
Here's one I should scan it and post it. This is the earliest picture of me racing BMX.
What?
I'm 14.
Wow.
Racing. This is 13 at Kevin McNeil's BMX track. And it's the Peter Fonda Easy Rider helmet with the stars on the top.
Oh my gosh.
And my mom's homemade BMX racing pants.
Yes. Dude, I found mine too. My first pair of BMX pants, my mom made them. We couldn't afford to buy them. Because
you still have them?
I have them, dude. I found them in storage.
Wow.
Dude, they're like I was 8. It's insane.
Crazy.
Yeah. I have so much shit. I have so much content to post I could probably create a different Instagram that was just all my old BMX stuff.
You could.
Dude, JV, I don't know. I told Mike, I have boxes, at least 15 boxes of VHS tapes. Some of them aren't BMX, but some of them are actual BMX races. I think starting as far back as 83 or 84.
Man.
Yeah. What do you got?
Riding the RRS, riding for RRS.
Yeah, look at that.
That's on a Mongoose. Couldn't ride any of those RRSs.
Here it is. This, my friend, this external hard drive.
Yeah. Oh.
If this ever fell into the wrong hands, it would ruin the sport of BMX.
Honestly, I think it got ruined slightly after we all got out of it. So I don't know.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't know. It's just such a different beast now.
Well,
I respect what the guys are doing, but it's not moto.
Yeah, exactly right.
It's supercross now.
It's like speed racing.
It's put the motocross back in BMX. That's what we're looking to do. That's what we do.